you getting yourself ready for our show?
Guys, Bobby Roast Beef here with a brand new episode of Jigs and Bigs. We've got some good stuff happening for you. First off, we have a little bit of an announcement here. Nothing really major, but next week's show is going to be real special. Find out why exactly. We're going on the road. This all came together at the last minute. Details coming. We've got some good stuff for you. This week, Sean the Fisherman is MIA. He is out. He's traveling all over the East Coast at this point, and he is on a mission. We've got some information from him coming our way. Trust me, you're going to want to hear about this, but I got two co-hosts with us. I am joined by the one and only Ellie in the Wild and Bill the Fisherman. You might know him. We'll talk to these guys. We got lots of stuff to talk about. Great stuff happening. This week in our Just the Tip segment, we're talking about live well care, like proper catch and release in a tournament situation. And you're never going to believe who this tip is from either. Details on that coming up. And in FTG this week, we got a couple that we're going to throw out there. So you're not going to want to miss it, guys. Go ahead, get yourselves ready. Grab something delicious to enjoy so that you can jump into this podcast greatness, this long-form content we make for you. Jesus Christ, let's get going. Come on, people. We'll see you guys right after that. Go ahead. We'll see you in a bit. Oh, yes. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to listen to Jigs and Bigs once again. I have two my favorite people in the world with me co-hosting the show. We got Ellie Noelle, and we have Bill the Fisherman. Guys, how the hell are you?
Hello. Robert,
Hello.
Eleanor, hello.
Can I get a?
You want a little
Can I get a?
something? Yeah. So what I've been told here is, and it's actually very funny because the Butcher chimes in here. Of course, we have the Jig Heads. We are live streaming the Jig Head exclusive right now. Ryan is in here, the Butcher, and he says, that a jail cell? And no, here's the thing, is that Bill the Fisherman is currently at work. He is on break. Everybody knows, though, Bill the Fisherman, he is the consummate manager at a local Chuck E. Cheese in Connecticut, and he's actually overseeing the maintenance of the ball pit. Something about polishing balls happening down there, so it's all good.
Are you hiring? Are you hiring for that?
Actually, that's why Sean's not here. He had a food allergy to the pizza, and he took a shit in the ball pit.
He did.
It was accidental, and he was arrested for it.
Well, it happens. You make a scene like that. That's the
How often do you contract MRSA? Because you know that shit's in those balls.
You know that shit's in
yeah. I think MRSA only infects the balls one time.
No,
and that's
it. That's a residual stat. I'm pretty sure.
This went off the rails immediately.
No, it's you know what? It's exactly what we were hoping for here at Jigs and Bigs. Exactly what we were hoping for. How have you guys been? How's everything? Ellie, how are you?
I'm great. I've been working and fishing and working and fishing and working and fishing. So that's pretty.
You have been fishing your ass off. And
I
Bill,
really have.
how's things been for you? You just got back not too long ago from Crumpton, Maryland.
Oh, yeah. Things are going well.
Crumpton.
I'm doing a lot of the same.
Yep.
Working, fishing. I did get back to Crumpton alive in one piece.
That's good.
Visiting our good friend Cody, Lockwood Fishing, and it was a blast, man.
Yeah. Listeners are going to have an opportunity to hear from Cody later in the show because Cody, I don't want to call it an interview segment. This is more like story time with Lockwood because he brings us on a journey talking about something like just man versus nature in the most primal kind of way. There was talk about him wearing a stole and like thrashing through like overgrowth. I mean, it was, and the stole was alive. That was the worst part. It was just bananas. But
I have only heard parts of that story, and I literally, please don't tell me. I said I want to hear you tell this story on
it's
the
so
show
good.
because I know it's that good.
It's so good. It's so good.
He's an epic storyteller, though, because I remember there was one night where we were like, I don't know, 10 to 15 people deep on a Zoom call or something. And he told a story about like shitting his pants, or I can't remember exactly the details, but it was pretty epic. I would listen to that all day.
That's you're very, very right. He is. He's Mark Twain on acid with shit in his pants.
He really is. He really is. There's talk of LSD in the story, by the way. That's coming up later. Perfect. You're not going to want to miss this. But I bring this up. I bring up Crumpton mainly because this next weekend, the 4th of July weekend, your boy is meeting up with Sean the Fisherman, and he's bringing the clown prince of bass fishing, Delirious Angler, to Crumpton to throw down jigs and bigs style.
It's exactly what that town needs.
It is what that town needs. And there's talk of a snakehead catch and cook.
Oh, yeah. I know he's got a spot.
That's what I was just talking to him before we started recording, and he's like, I got a spot. He's like the likelihood of 7+ pounders and snakehead is very high where we're going to be. So I'm hoping that we're able to make it happen. I know regardless, it's going to be a good time because we're recording the entire show. Like this weekend, so this summer got all screwy. This weekend, Sean competed at an EKF event at Oneida. And the plan was I was going to go and truck camp Fish Oneida as well, day of, and we were going to record on the water. And I forgot that I had tickets for Trevor Noah at Foxwoods. And my wife, I like my testicles. I don't want them chopped off.
Yeah.
So,
no way.
And I like Trevor Noah. He's a funny son of a bitch,
Very funny, yeah.
So we go, and we had a great night. So that whole plan kind of got squashed, but basically just got pushed back a week, and we managed to double down and make it this big send to Crumpton. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I got some Maryland.
If you need to keep me on speed dial for bail money, you feel free, because I have a inkling that might be
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
It's going to be great.
I have a sparkling record. I'm not too concerned about myself, but I will not speak to about Delirious or Lockwood and the shenanigans that could happen. This is going to be the craziest people, or the craziest group of people in that little. It's not even a town. It's like a township or something.
I have a pretty good record too, and I was almost at a physical altercation within about 5 seconds of being in Crumpton. So,
Really?
Yes. So, yeah.
I do famously say that Maryland has the worst drivers on the planet, and this is coming from a guy in Massachusetts. And most people in Massachusetts think Connecticut is as bad as it gets.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I've been struck by vehicle 5 times, so I'm going to agree with you.
Are you serious?
All Connecticut drivers.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's awful. Yeah. That ball pit gets dangerous.
Many people call me a miracle.
I love it. So, how was the last week fishing for everybody? I know Ellie's gotten on some, even just like within the last day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This weekend was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, I took my little John boat out. And
so awesome.
I haven't had that boat in the water in almost 10 years.
Oh,
which
wow.
Is like,
this boat was your grandfather's, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
My grandfather, I grew up going fishing every weekend with my grandfather. We would get up at like the crack of dawn and we would go fishing, and
yep.
And we'd get like a bucket of perch and then bring them back and dress them and barbecue them. And that's just how I grew up. And so when he passed away, I got the boat. And bunch of rigmarole and all that shit. But long story short, I get the boat, finally get the boat in the water.
Yep.
The seats are like rotting. There's like duck spiders the size of an English muffin.
Oh yeah,
coming out from under them, and but all I can do, I'm just like so stoked that I have this boat that's just like falling apart. It's like not registered. It's I But I'm just out there, and I'm like, look at the fucking bass! I'm like,
were those all bass that you were showing?
Dude,
that
did
were?
you see those?
Yeah,
they were huge. I thought they were carp at first, and then I started looking at like, are those smallmouth?
So it was a mixture. So on my Instagram story, I was sharing like little clips of me like pretty much baby talking like it was a cat, the fish, and the bass were just coming up and being like, what's up, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like just
I heard that bass say that.
You heard that? Just coming up to the surface, but then I realized that there was like they were on beds over by this tree, and then did you see that tree that was kind of
that
like
lay down?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Did you not get a boner? Because I did.
100%.
The size of an English muffin, girl.
Oh my god.
Flipping.
Kansas City. I was just like, oh god. It was a really good weekend. So I caught a few, talked to a few, dated a couple. I had a really good time.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Bill, what about you? How'd you do the last few outings this week?
I only went out once with my daughter. We went out for catfish briefly.
That's awesome.
I haven't really fished in a few weeks because 2 weeks ago I had a tournament, and then the week following that I was in Florida on vacation on the beach, and it was a vacation that I was not allowed to fish at.
Oh, I hear you.
So
but
a little
you still
sacrifice.
Ran? That's impressive.
Well, I got it before then. They can't complain if they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
that's
and
true.
That's for like in every situation that the dad will flip out a few times during vacation and ruin it, and everybody cries. Yep. I only run to avoid that, and then I just minimize how many times it happens. That's all.
That's smart. That's a good way to do it, man. Good for you. Good for you.
There are certain types of people, like the people that go running on vacation.
Yeah.
That's not in my chemical balance.
It's only for my mental state. I promise you.
That's
not like we're it's not like the dude from Step Brothers, like the brother who's yeah. I got one. It's just for mental health.
Yeah. Well, and I think mental health is so important. Like, to some extent, I fish for my mental health. You know?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's really important. But I also consume products and substances for my mental health as well. And some,
Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese is real strict about that. The fucking mouse test me at random.
Goddamn mouse.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it. That's balling. You know what I'm saying?
It's a funny Chuck E. Cheese thing is I used to be friends with this old Vietnam veteran he was friends with my dad, but he was more, I just talked to him all the time. He just cracked me up. Little short Italian dude. And he would come out with some really random shit. And we live in Connecticut, which some people say is the best pizza in the world, right? So it's arguable at least. And he'd go, you know what, Bill, I'm going to tell you right now. Best fucking pizza I ever had in my life. I said, what, Dennis? He goes, Chuck E. Cheese.
Fuck that. Fuck
I go, dude,
I'm calling
if
bullshit.
I ever saw you at a fucking Chuck E. Cheese, I'd call the cops. Because he's not going to be hanging out with...
No.
There's no reason for him to be there.
Chuck E. Cheese pizza is the equivalent of taking like a Ritz cracker, putting ketchup on it, and a Kraft fucking single. That's it. That's what you get, right?
Oh, Dennis just rolled over in his grave.
We do. I will say this. We are so lucky in the Northeast to know what good pizza is.
Yeah.
Because there are parts of this country where they just do not understand. For whatever reason, like Michigan, Detroit style, like they get it. Like it's good.
Can I tell you?
You know?
One of the times I flipped out on vacation.
Oh, no.
They didn't cry. But we had to have fucking pizza in Clearwater, Florida. So that was great. To have sauce and cheese on Play-Doh. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Was it gluten-free?
Fucking love boba.
I don't know. It was free of taste and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Now, the difference, I think there's two types of people in the world. The people that degrease the pizza with a napkin.
Psychos.
And the people that give zero fucks about the pool of grease on the top of the pizza.
Yep.
There's no middle.
No.
Which one are you?
Oh, I'll drip it on my chest. What are you talking about?
And Ellie, you can't look at me and not think that I don't take the cupping pepperoni with the little fat that collects and do it like fucking shots. I'm like,
yeah.
Line them up.
I still remember Mexico pizza, just oil spills, Slick City.
I love it. But I mean, I do like all styles of pizza. Like I love Chicago deep dish pizza. I really do.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I like pineapple on pizza. Get creative.
No.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Like, it's not my go-to. You know what I mean? But like, hey, if you want to have... Oh, hell no. It's I'll tell you what it is. It is like my wife and kids love... My wife loves the combination of pepperoni and pineapple. But she grew up in Athol Orange, so like they don't have a fucking taste anyway. So there's that. But my kids they're one of two. Like they'll go the Hawaiian route, or one of three. I take it back. I take a lot of pride in this. One of the Hawaiian route, so ham and sometimes bacon and pineapple, which I get. You know, the salty and the sweet. It's like having cantaloupe and prosciutto. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's the other one where they like
You said yeah. Do you know what he means or no?
Have you ever had I'm like cantaloupe. Well, it took me a second. I'm like cantaloupe and prosciutto, and then I'm like kind of visualizing this.
Well, you said yeah, like you've had it, and I don't believe you.
No, I haven't had that.
Your brother-in-law.
I'm like thinking like
charcuterie. Did you say
charcuterie? Yeah, charcuterie.
Charcuterie board. You know when they.
Ellie, your brother-in-law is Sicilian, right?
What?
Your brother-in-law is Sicilian, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Ask him about the cantaloupe and prosciutto.
All right.
Ask him about it. It's delicious. Try it. Next time you're at like a brunch and you've got a charcuterie board available, grab a piece of melon and some ham. And trust me, it's...
My brother-in-law, I'm almost scared to ask that because he'll like serve a plate of like cheese, pepperoni. It has to be like a certain cracker.
Yep.
But it has to be like a certain temperature. Don't fucking eat it straight out of the refrigerator. It's got to sit at like room. It's got to like, and I'm just like going in the fridge and like taking a knife and cutting the end off of the cheese. Don't fuck with those Sicilians.
Don't.
I'm telling you.
So
the cantaloupe and prosciutto thing, I'm like, yeah.
So, but my kids, the other one is like a barbecue chicken pizza. Barbecue sauce, red onions, chicken, the whole nine. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
The one I'm really proud of that I think is awesome is my kids love a Clams Casino pizza.
I've never had that.
Bacon, clams, garlic, just boom. They're all about it. They're all about it.
That's big. That's big here.
My kids...
I like a margarita.
Margarita's a good pizza. It's a good pie.
But it has to be the fresh dollops of mott. Don't come at me with the shredded.
The mall shit.
Dollops of motts. Like English muffin dollops.
Fresh stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like giant goopy English muffins hanging off your pizza. Spiders.
Yeah.
I did a little fishing this week, and I put a little challenge up for everybody. Last Tuesday, when the previous episode dropped, I met bright and early. I met the one and only Tim Jakes, and we went out on his new boat. He revitalized a boat from an old friend that had passed, and he was gracious enough to take me out on it. And that man, we were sent seaworthy. We made it back. It was good.
I was waiting for you to take your shirt off in that reel the whole time.
10 fish.
And you know what?
Supposed to come off.
10 fish, I would have done it, but I only got to 5. I would have done it. You would have been like...
showed us one nipple, or the half nipple from the explosion.
From the explosion? It's good and healed up. There's a tiny little white scar there. That's it, but yeah.
Oh.
Someday we'll show that off, you know?
Ellie, she's like, what?
Ellie's like dry heaving in the back. She's like,
all I'm thinking is, well, I caught 10 fish and I would do a topless challenge, but then that kind of enters into like a gray area.
A whole other thing.
What's acceptable on social media and what's
that's
not.
One of the things I want to...
OnlyFans, Ellie, Noelle, thank you.
OnlyFins. I don't know if I... Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit later that I think this is a great opportunity to talk about in our hot topic was Ellie had something come up in a conversation and her response to it was just chef's kiss. It was great. In fact, if you're listening to this episode right now on the cover art, I did a little, I don't know if you guys saw what I had done there, but I kind of did a little mashup of a couple of your greatest recent catches. Ellie, that's your new PB, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one you're holding and you're wearing the Sims jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome freaking picture.
Yeah.
So I took that and
Did you see that thing?
That's a beast.
Oh my God.
The look on your face is so genuinely floored.
Oh God. Where I was, the entire creek for fucking 10-mile radius probably knew because I was like just,
you need to, though.
I still hyperventilate about it. And it wasn't even a 4. But I was just like,
oh, it looks like a giant fish.
Doesn't it?
It's all spawned out till I think.
Yep.
That's why. That's probably the head on that thing is huge.
That's exactly it. A giant. And then I took one of Bill's photos and I put it right behind. But somebody had some interest in that picture for their social media. And I forget what the profile was. I don't even necessarily want to mention it. But Ellie, you said it. What was your response when they asked about resharing this?
Yeah, so something like Kirby Girl, I'll fucking blast, whatever. Like Kirby Girl Fishing Instagram or something, like commented, "Hey, love your photo. We love sharing pictures of women fishing." And then I go to their handle. I go to their handle. Oh, and we'll give you credit when we reshare. And I'm like, I don't need your fucking credit. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I go to their handle just to take a peek. And it's all fish bras. It's all hot, 10s and with their titties hiding behind the fish.
Holding up the fish to cover them up.
And I'm like, you know what? All right, that's cool. If I had a body like that too, I'd probably do that too. But also not. So I commented back and I was like, no thanks, too many fish bras, too many tits. Because that's just not my MO. Like, I've worked so hard over the past year, years that I've been doing this to, like, not have to suck dick to get up the chain. And then I get, like, comments comments like that just totally, like, ruffle my feathers. So I responded like that. I don't care. And then I could just delete it, but I leave that there on purpose because I feel like people need to kind of like know that just because you're a chick and you're fishing.
That's right. We've talked about that several times on Hoodlumcast. Like, it sets. I hate to even talk about men and women in the differences, but it sets women back so far in this when chicks are just on Instagram showing off, and it's like you probably even catch that fish you're showing. You know what I mean? Right. It's like whatever. Yep. Whereas we have real, authentic anglers that are women that have to work 10 times as hard because of shit like that for followers and stuff. And it's like.
I think for me, like, it all gets down to if that's what you want to do, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's what you want to do and that's what you're like, but it bothers me when people feel like they have to go that route in order to get success.
Yeah, smacking their ass with the fish and then
when they're kind of like.
The truth of it, though, is that the road to quote unquote, I always like to say, visibility doesn't equal success.
No, you're right.
Just because you might have a large reach or like a ton of followers or you have a viral post, it doesn't mean that you're like the successful content or whatever kind of figure you're trying to be. So if you're trying to get X amount of followers and you're a chick and you got like a decent pair of Ds and you're like, well, why don't I just rock them and get like so many likes? Because you will. They will.
Oh,
they'll get the engagement. They'll get the likes. They'll get the followers. They'll get the reshares. They'll get the pro staff positions and all these things. Oh, yeah. And that's just fine. But it makes it harder for people who don't want to, wear the fish bras and promote themselves that way.
They just
and
want to fish.
I don't even want to say it makes it harder. It's just almost like an expectation.
Yeah.
that people think, well,
and that's where I think
do this.
That's where I think the problem is that there's the expectation, that like, well, that's, as a female, this is how you advance your career in the industry, if that's what you're trying to do or something like that. Like, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's great. But it's like, that's the thing that, and I mean, I love the way you handled it. I think it's awesome. In fact, so I want to jump into some of these comments here that were, some of these jig heads are thrown out. Let's go back up a little bit. What do we see here? Wow, man, these guys, they're having their own conversation. We got Jerry House says hello. That goes back a bit. Gravy's in the house. We got Chris Pendergast here. We got what do we got here? Oh, Chris says the garden is growing. Pickles and sauce are coming. That's good. Pickles. What do we got? Bogley says, nice fat sack then. Okay.
You wouldn't want to know what he just texted me.
I'm curious. Let's see what we got here. Notice it says Bill the Fisherman. Yeah, Chris says, did you notice it says Bill the Fisherman? It does.
Oh, Chris.
Gravy throws in there, says he doesn't fish, or if he does, he brings 6 fish to the weigh-in. Ha ha ha. My God.
That was me milking a cow.
Someone's talking about pirates getting DQ'd. Just refer to him as BTF now. There we go. See, you're doing a whole thing.
I like that.
It's good.
I like that.
Gravy claims he's going to start posting topless pictures of him and his catches. Which
last time I showed my titties, I lost 3 followers.
It works for Tim Jakes. I'm just saying, some people it works for. But I was going to stick to it. Like if I got to 10, the bass dash was coming off, and that's why I told Tim, I was like, no, let's do this. Every fish we catch from now on, we'll throw them in the live well, and we'll take one of those super cheesy photos holding them all up. And I'm like, it'll be
so
great.
Funny.
But I only got to 5. I was going to stick.
Hey, that's a limit.
Yeah, it is a limit. It was not a bad day. It was a bunch of nibblers. I was throwing Rig X around. It was good. I have been all about throwing paddle tail swim baits on just open hook jig heads. Like just
that last tournament, I threw that swim jig with the bladed jig with the paddle tail.
Yep.
Every single fish was caught on that thing.
Oh yeah,
every single fish. That paddle tail is on fire.
To play off of what you said, Ellie, Chris goes, I ask my wife to show her a decent pair of D's all the time. My God.
Chris,
and then Jay Manning jumps in and says,
so
hi,
much
all.
trouble.
He is. Oh my goodness. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, so I think you handled the whole situation amazing. I've said it before where, the one thing that I want to make very clear about this show is we truly support all anglers, female anglers, and whether we're talking, some of the anglers we've had on the show, already, or if they choose to take, make content that's a little bit more like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, it's all good if that's what you want to do. I just don't want anybody to feel like they have to do that. That's the worst part. And having 2 daughters definitely makes me think more in that line than,
for sure,
some other folks.
Well, I've talked about it before, but like Ellie said, her grandfather was teaching her how to fish. I learned all my family fished and stuff. I learned everything I know about fishing from my grandmother.
That's right.
She, like tying knots, fishing. Well, she'd spend all the hours up there, how to clean the fish, how to clean certain fish, how to fillet, how to cook them, and she never once showed her boobies holding a fish. So. Not that I know of.
There you go. Yeah, fair enough.
Right?
It might have gotten a little bit funny there in like the 50s. You never know. But
she was a strong woman angler. She taught me everything I know. She got me obsessed with fishing.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That's the most important part, And here you are going out catfishing with your girls and stuff. That's right. Awesome, dude.
And they could outfish some adults. My oldest, she's going to be 9. And
such an awesome age.
I'm well aware of. I think if you're one of the people that said like, it can get miserable, like to be out there. So like even when we just went for catfish last week, I gave it an hour. I'm like, we're out of here after that, whether we catch something or not. Like just enough to keep her going. And then we went and did other shit too. But I'm saying like we'll spend a little time fishing. If we get on one, that's great. And then we did, and then of course that's all she talked about. If we skunked and left in that short of time, it would have been nothing.
It would have been, no big deal. That's the way to do it. I think when anytime you're fishing with kids, it's like, however the experience is going to go, you don't want to push it too long because then it gets miserable for them, and they're like, no, it's not for me. But you get, and it's, what's funny? I say that. It's the same thing when I go out fishing with my wife the few times. And I ask her at least twice a month.
I would never take my wife fishing.
I ask her all the time.
I flip her kayak.
Oh, Mike.
We were just talking about.
I was joking, kind of.
My wife has never been in a kayak before, and I keep telling her, I'm like, we got to get you in the kayak. You gotta trust me, it's a whole other animal. Like, I think you'll really, really enjoy it. We'll go, we'll get you bit. It'll be good. It'll be fun. And then we're at the show. We were driving back, and I was talking about buying her a pedal kayak. Just so I'm like, Jesus. It's really, I go, it's just a whole other animal. I think you'll appreciate it so much more fishing and not having to juggle the whole nine.
Have you been in your kayak since you've been on the bass boat?
Mm-hmm. I was on yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, no, not yesterday. Friday.
Okay. Because it messes me up because I'll be fishing. In the bass boat, and you're standing, you're a little bit above the surface level, and you can literally see down, and then you get into your yak, and you're like,
well, I can
it's
stand
totally
in my boat.
Different beast for me.
Yeah, I can stand in my kayak. My seat is so high. I actually do have a pretty good vantage point.
Yeah, me too. And I fished when Bogley took me out this year. He's got a beautiful bow. I went fish with Zach on his boat, and I was like, the whole time I loved it. I had fun just coming fishing with my buddies, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I'm just a kayak guy. Like I prefer the kayak much more.
I would say that I am in that unique space where I want to do it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like,
yeah. Well, you said the best boat is somebody else's. Right?
Oh yeah, especially at $5 a gallon. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially. And I mean, just the cost overall is just unbelievable. But I feel like they're two totally different types of fishing. Like I look at a guy like Fluke Master, Gene Jensen, right? Accomplished big boat angler, like does well, understands boats. I think he's actually in the business of selling boats or as a dealer or something like that. I don't know the whole deal. But, I think he got into the kayak end of things afterwards. Like, it was not the order that, like, I think you expect. Like, you start in a small boat, whether it be a kayak or a John boat, then you move into a larger vessel or something like that. He kind of did it the other way around, and it's pretty crazy. Although, actually, I think Brian Latimer was also recently quoted as saying, if you want to learn how to become a really, really good fisherman, get in a goddamn kayak.
He's one of my favorites. He's so knowledgeable, and he's awesome. He's the best.
And he gets it. Like, he gets it. I love there's so much good information that comes from his stuff online. Yep. It would be amazing if we could get him on this show at some point. Wouldn't that be amazing if we could
he's
get
pretty
him?
Accessible. He's like, you responded to message before and stuff like that. Why, does somebody know him? Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, it's wild. It is absolutely wild. That's actually, it was his channel. That's how I found out about the Z-Man Buzz Toads.
I've asked him before, do you prefer kayak where you paddle around with your hands or like a foot paddle? I don't know the fucking terms for this shit. But
a paddle or an oar. You paddle with your hands, sir?
I'm like, well, nobody's gonna see this in the podcast, and I'm flapping around like a fucking seagull. But he said, I like to fish, and it totally opened my mind of perspective because I've never had a foot. What's
a pedal drive? A pedal
driver. Yeah. I've always just fucking went around with my paddle or my oar, whatever it is. And that's another beast. You got to put it down. You hold and I've never actually thought like, wow, you really can just hold your fishing rod and motor around with your feet. Like, it never clicked in my mind.
Last year I was using just a paddle, and I And that's what sparked the whole thing, where I talked about going against guys in tournaments with motors and going against guys with pedal drives. And I said, I'm at a disadvantage just paddling. And then it created this whole big thing with Sean.
Yep.
Because Sean said that word advantage is not the right word. And now, having switched to a pedal drive, I understand what he meant, because it doesn't make you any better, or it doesn't help you. It doesn't make you a better angler.
Yeah.
But how I would still stick by my point where I'm able to get to my spots a little easier. I'm able to fish my way there while I'm getting there. So I get what he meant, where it's not an advantage.
Yeah.
However, I do think it has made, especially tournaments, slightly or drastically, depending on the situation, easier in a pedal drive compared to a paddle.
I feel like that makes so much sense too, because I talk about this with my clients all the time. Like, if you have an old boat and somebody's in the new boat and they've got the new electronics and the things that you don't have, like, to me, I feel like that is an advantage over the guy that doesn't have the tools. Now you have to know how to use it, them. Implement it,
and have the know-how to put yourself in a place where you can utilize those.
Right, but you're still at a disadvantage if you're in a slow boat and you don't have the electronics or things like that.
Sure.
It opens your mind so much, and I've seen it over the past few years. It's just like, oh my God, because there's so many new things.
Oh, yeah.
There are definitely advantages, whether it be technology or whatever, but I think the main point in all that is that none of it will make you be a good angler. So, I like that people give people shit about the optics and stuff like that. But, however, that's not going to make you. You're not going to know where to go just because you have that, or what they're fighting or anything. I mean, again, there's just whatever. I agree with you.
A spiral.
I remember last summer when Three Bells had delivered the Titan, and the first time I actually got to fish in a pedal drive kayak. When, the first time out in there, and I hooked into, on a Ned, tiny finesse equipment, I hooked into a pretty decent fish. And instinctively, I just started backpedaling. So that way I could maintain a little bit of leverage where my position was. And I remember distinctly being like, this is a whole other beast, because when I would fish in my Ascend FS 128, I would hook into a fish of that size. And there was a point where I was sort of like attached to that fish, and like I was going to end up getting pulled wherever. Granted, like I'm a big guy, but it doesn't take much to move those little plastic boats. And, you're just like, okay, cool. This might be a situation where we are going into some trees. We're going to have to fix it later, because I've got to figure out what's more important, getting this fish in or keeping my boat from going into this overhanging brush or whatever. Like, you just kind of roll with it. But it's so nice, because you just kind of you just quickly adjust. I mean, unless you're in a Hobie, that's a different animal. Then you got to shift gears and stuff and all that. But
really?
Yeah, Hobie pedal drives are totally different. I mean, it's all about what you like. You don't have that instant reverse with the Hobie stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Have you ever? You should. You know what, Ellie? You should go to Three Bells and demo a bunch of different kayaks. You should look into a pedal drive. You should. I mean, because when I went down there, I had the opportunity. They put me in the Native Titan. They put me in a Jackson Big Rig. That was the boat that I genuinely thought that I was ultimately going to buy, was the Big Rig. That's what I thought was like, that was the right fit. And then the other one was a Hobie Pro Angler 14. Like, that's like the Hobie. And while I like the rudder control a bunch, the way the Hobie pedal drives work is it's like these two, it's almost like flippers you wear like when you're snorkeling or scuba diving. They're vertical, and as it's not a crank that turns like a bike, it's these two levers that you just push back and forth. And you have to change the mechanics. They've changed it now. There's like a 360 drive where you can actually pedal and it will actually move left and right and all this crazy stuff. But like, there's a little bit more management. It's just more about like what you like. Like, there's a million good kayaks out there, but like what works for you, It's the name of the game.
I've been on my paddleboard so much, and that thing's just a slab.
Yeah.
So it's like I forget that other things like a kayak has fancy features like that.
I love it. I'm psyched. Yeah, Gravy chimes in. He says, Old Town all day. Sarah jumps in. I have the Jackson Bite. Like, it's crazy. There's so much stuff. And, like, the things, this was what drives me nuts. The things that I didn't like about the Jackson when I was in there, like the new Jackson NAR, they've changed it. Like, they've addressed it. So this is just wild. So it's just wild. Like, and then of course, then we got this guy here, the butcher, just Ranger all day. I love it.
I don't have experience with Jacksons or any of those. I've had cheap kayaks, and then like the Ascend. I don't say cheap because it was a good kayak, but you know what I mean. They're inexpensive kayaks.
They're inexpensive, definitely.
And but with the Old Town, and again, I joke around obviously to talk shit because whatever, but. As far as I don't have the experience to compare, but I don't have a reason that I could foresee even ever getting rid of the Old Town. I love it. It's perfect. Like you said, it's comfort though. It's what you're. It's
a lot of it. Yeah, it really is. And the thing is too is like with Old Town, I remember Sean asking at some point. He's like, "What is it with all these people with Old Town? Like Old Town." If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure like they're a lifetime warranty on at least the hull, if not everything else.
I don't know. I know that their warranties are probably like anything, or most. But as soon as you start drilling into them,
I'm sure you avoid it. Yeah. But I know that there's. I've heard before that there's like some type of like guarantee that you just can't beat. And I mean, it's a great reputation. They're made. I think they're made in New England. I want to say they might be made in Maine.
Yeah, Maine.
Yeah. Maine. So I mean, I get it. Like that's there's people that are just into that, but it's like the same thing. Like there are people who drive 4Runners, then there's everybody else.
Okay.
Oh my God! Have I told you guys about what I did to my baby?
What'd you do?
Oh no!
So I busted a taillight.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting.
Submit the invoice to the city like I told you.
No, because I'd have to do it through my insurance, and it's which is fine. I could, but my deductible is like before labor or anything else. I'm basically buying the headlight. Yeah, or I'm basically buying the taillight. So, and to go with the OEM stuff, it's actually a little bit cheaper for me to just get an upgrade and go full LED in the back. So that's what I'm ultimately doing. I'm waiting on them to show up. I'm hoping that I'll have them for the drive to. They were supposed to arrive today. I'm hoping that they'll be here in plenty of time because FedEx is fucking bananas.
Get those little when you go to Crumpton. Get those little whistles on the side of the 4Runner, on both sides, so that normal people can't hear.
Whistle?
But the ones for people on crystal meth, so that way you don't hit anybody.
A lot of juggalos.
Oh, how dare you! Whoop whoop.
Oh, it's going to be so good. It is going to be so good. So we're recording down there. I'm actually sleeping in the truck because I've finally got all the ducks in a row.
Why?
In order to, I'm curious. Why do you say that, though, Bill? I'm curious.
Because you ever wake up to a vanilla gorilla with a beard giving you a back rub?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. And yes, I have. You forget I was in the hardcore scene for quite a while. Shit gets weird.
How many banjos did you hear?
Oh,
just off in the distance.
Yeah, Cody's got a little friend that sits on the bridge. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. It's actually, all kidding aside, I made that comment. I would say joke, but it wasn't a joke. I made that comment a few times because it is exactly like Deliverance.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I spend quite some time in.
Cody's the best, though. I mean, as you can imagine.
Of course.
As you would tell, he's a great host, and he's the man. I mean, it's a cool experience. It's a great place to fish. It's a beautiful stretch of a river. It's difficult to navigate, I would say, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know where you guys are going, because if it's the same place as I was, it's definitely tough, but well worth it. And if you guys are gonna have an amazing time, man, just hanging out with Cody's the best anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm curious. When you say it's like Deliverance, do you mean it's like?
Squeal louder.
That is the saddest part.
It really is.
So
it really
bad.
is. And then what's amazing is I have a 6-hour car ride with Delirious too. So I mean, that's if that isn't enough insanity. Gravy comments. He goes, does his bathroom have a door?
No.
Why?
No, it does
you?
not. I mean, there is a door. His bathroom does have a door that is not attached to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But it's in the hallway.
It's
somewhere,
there.
for sure.
You know, if you needed it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't know.
He's gonna put up. Trust me, I'm gonna be the guy that changes his mind about leaving that door in the hallway.
Andrew said. Andrew said that he caught me staring at the floor in the bathroom, and I don't know if that's true, but he swears by it. I zoned out a little bit. Listen, I don't want to get into all that, but no, there's no door.
It's fucking wild. Oh, it's fucking wild. We're gonna have a good time.
Yes, you will.
Recording live on location there is what that's really what I'm looking forward to is like
Hell
whatever.
yeah.
When we get out, we fish on Sunday. We're going to go all day. And then when we get back, what the plan is that we're going to hopefully come back with some snakehead, do a little catch and cook. I even have some special Old Bay hot sauce so that we can do it up right. And yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really good.
It's going to be awesome. It'll be a great experience.
I love it.
Stories.
Yeah.
Stories.
Lots of stories, I'm sure.
I was there for 2 days. I have stories for life. You know, that's the beauty of all of this.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're making memories.
Any ball? So Bogling jumps in. He says, "Any bowl balls?" No bowl balls for this trip. God, it's been a while. It really has.
Hoodlum Fest.
Hoodlum Fest. We could do that again. That's coming up later this summer.
It's going to be a wheel of punishment.
Oh, Chris and Sarah are going to make their way down to Crumpton sometime. That ought to be interesting.
They're coming to, I believe they're coming to Hoodlum Fest too. And September 3rd and 4th, we are going to have a blast.
Three Bells Trifecta is coming up as well. Little salt tournament. And I'm thinking about giving it a go. Not even for the competitive side of it, but I'm thinking about maybe, just throwing the boat in the salt and trying to catch some species I've never hooked.
You should.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no reason not to.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
It'll be a good time. I love it, guys. Yeah. So let's go ahead. We're going to take a short break, guys. We're going to come back. We have Just the Tip, and we have a special call-in Just the Tip. You're not going to want to miss this. That's coming up right after the break. And then in FTG this week, there was a lot running around all over the place for FTG, and we have a call-in that's one on the road. We have one in person that we're 100% going to get to, but there was another one that we were really, really, really hoping was going to come in, and it never happened. So might end up being in next week's show. We'll see how it goes. In fact, we're going to talk during the break and figure out what's up with that or what's going on. So, guys, we will be back after this. Don't go too far. Much more Jigs and Bigs coming right up after this. Jigs and Bigs wants to take a moment to say thank you to our partners for helping us continue to push the limits of our fishing adventures and bring you amazing long-form content. We want to thank Old Glory Outdoors in East Brookfield, Massachusetts. Old Glory has an amazing selection of fishing tackle, including 6th Sense, Guggen Baits, X-Zone Lures, Shimano, Daiwa, Luz, 13 Fishing, Arc Rods, and many more. Use promo code Jigs and Bigs at oldgloryoutdoors.com and in-store to save yourself some money and support the show. For all your premium kayak needs, we partner with Three Bells Outfitters, located along Smith Cove in Niantic, Connecticut. Three Bells is your go-to location for kayaks and accessories from Hobie, Native, Bonafide, Jackson, Yak Attack, Naqua, Boondocks, Burley Pro, and many more. Financing options are available to upgrade you and your kayak fishing experience. White glove delivery service is also available. Visit 3bellsoutfitters.com for more info, and don't forget to tell them that Jigs and Bigs sent you. When it comes to high-quality polarized sunglasses, we've partnered with Torres. They provide stylish sunglasses in a variety of frames that are light and fit comfortably on your face. The polarization cuts glare and allows you to see the whole picture, helping you identify identify what's below the water's surface. They have a 60-day, risk-free trial, lifetime warranty, and free shipping. Plus, you can save yourself 10% with the code JIGSandBIGS10 at checkout. Visit Torege.com to check out their selection. That's www.torege.com. Again, we cannot thank our partners enough for their support. Please consider supporting them and supporting the show in the same process. Thanks.
Bobby and Sean now have a special presentation for us all. They'd like to give everyone just the tip.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've got for you guys. Just the tip. And today was an interesting day because I had an idea to kind of go on for just the tip, but I can go and just kind of like grab a tip to share with everybody at any point. You know, just grab a tip here, share it with everyone, you know, pass it around. It's great. I can go ahead and do that at any point, but we have a resource right here, and that resource is the one and only Ellie Noelle. And, you know, for those that don't know, Ellie has a career in the fishing industry. She rubs elbows with pro anglers. And I said, you know, we'd love to get a tip from somebody who we've never heard from on the show before. And she said, let me see what I can put together. And, you know, at like the 0 hour, Chris Grow managed to leave your boy BRB a little voicemail on the office phone, and we're going to hear from him right now, actually, and he's going to talk about like proper catch and release, especially in like the tournament world. You know, proper catch and release. Let's see what Chris has to say.
Hey guys, Chris Grow Fishing here, MLF Pro. Just giving you a quick tip. It's summer. It's hot all over the country. Quick tip here for keeping those bass alive in the live well and getting them back in the water and respectively making them alive and well for the rest of your catching years. 3 things: G-Juice, old school catch and release, the powder formula, and Mountain Dew in the boat at all times. Mountain Dew, if you hook them bad, you can cauterize it. If you hook them real bad in the tongue or in the gills, you cauterize it quick with the dew. Then you take the powdered catch and release, lick your finger, apply it to the catch and release to the wound, rub it on there, and it'll actually cauterize it and stay on all day. Separate the injured fish, whether you injure 1 or 2 throughout the day, hopefully just 1. Keep him by himself, iced in G-Juice, fresh water all the time, recirculating by himself if possible. Rock and roll, boys.
It's amazing. I've heard that Mountain Dew trick before, and I was like, shut up.
Yeah,
come on.
It's cool to see.
I heard it kills their sperm count.
Is it? Wow. Yeah, that's poor, you know.
It's an old wives' tale.
I know. But you got to wonder, it's like, what is it? Is it specifically Mountain Dew, or has it got to do with the carbonation, or would it be any soda? I mean, you know, does it have to be could it be?
I heard it can be any soda, but Mountain Dew for some reason has the radioactivity in it to keep those, you know.
What about
is there any science on Baja Blast?
Oh shit.
Blast, dude.
I'm not sure.
Oh my god.
I gotta tell you, I truly thought this was going to be Bogley with just a tip about the live well, because he just had an issue the other day in his tournament where he had such big fish in there that they were so hot he had to continually treat them and I think he put ice in the well to. Mm-hmm. I really thought that was going to be him when you said you had somebody calling in about it.
Well, it's why I've heard the G-Juice stuff before. I've heard that a bunch of times, you know, in the past. I don't even know what the hell's in that stuff. That's the thing. Like, when it comes to big boat fishing, I'm so green. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, all that stuff. I'm like, live well.
Live well, what's that?
Live well is my net.
Another thing I see in the summer quite a bit at tournaments is I'll be like walking through the dock and every live well is filled with cut up swimmy noodles because if they're on like Champlain or like the St. Lawrence or just like a rough body of water, like the swimmy noodles kind of keep a cushion to protect the fish while they're in the live well, and I never thought of that until like, why the fuck do you have floaties in your live well? Like, don't you have a PFD? And, like, thinking they're gonna, but it was really for the fish safety.
Huh, makes sense. Yeah, I don't know anything about that world.
It definitely makes sense. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. And then there's, the trick where you can. Have you ever gut hooked a fish where you've got to go and access through the gill plate, spin the hook around, and then pull it out that way? That works really, really well. Yeah, I don't know. That's Mountain Dew. You know when they make flaming hot like Mountain Dew now? Have you seen that? Yeah, they do, for real.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
My Mountain Dew tastes like Cheetos. Nasty. I'm never gonna be a father.
The Bass aren't betting this year. Too much Mountain Dew.
I don't know what's going on. Must be a late spring. I freaking love it. So let's go ahead and move on now. That was awesome. I would love to actually get more tips from outside of our little circle. So I'm going to open it up and just say,
I love Grow. He's such a down-to-earth dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to go through, like, the roster of 100 and however many motherfuckers are fishing the pro circuit, Grow is, like, one that I'm like, let me call Grow, because he's
down to earth. He gets it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We'll get him on the show. We'll do a little interview. We'll find out what his favorite chicken joint is.
Tell you.
What are your well, actually, no, I think we've had this conversation, Bill, about your favorite chicken joint, because you're a KFC guy.
Yeah, but then you brought up Crispy Crunchy. Remember I showed you my buddy's tattoo and everything? That's right,
yeah. What about you, Ellie? What's your go-to chicken joint? Because you've also done some traveling, too.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a parking lot of a Bojangles just face-fucking a fucking bag of...
I've been in a parking lot of a Bojangles face-fucking something, but not a chicken sandwich.
Not a chicken sandwich.
Oh, the biscuits.
The biscuit. But are they the ones with the waffle cut?
No, they have they call them like bow fries, I think. They're like little smiley faces. It's like you're in 7th grade all over again.
All right. I'll be real honest here. My time spent through fast food drive-thrus is very minimal.
Fair.
So to answer you, my go-to right now is the chicken and hummus protein box at Starbucks.
Fair. Okay.
Tastes like a fucking underside of a shoe.
I should have never did this show tonight.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry about that.
You know what I really like from Starbucks? Like for a food item, not a coffee item. I'll share my coffee.
The grilled cheese? The grilled cheese.
No, not really, but the what is it? The tomato pesto panini?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not terrible. Like, I've going between events, like on a busy weekend or something like that, and I'm like, I gotta, put something down here.
Their sandwiches aren't bad.
They're not terrible. Not bad. Their coffee's all right. Their espresso's much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love it. Let's do it. Let's move on to FTG, because we actually have two. Well, Ellie's going to share some stuff here live, and we're going to riff on that for a little bit. But we got a little message from the one and only Sean the Fisherman, and this one is disgusting on like a whole other level.
Oh, no.
Yeah, watch out for your birch trees.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So like I said, Sean, he's been traveling all over the place. He was over at Oneida for the EKF event that happened up there. And I guess he was camping with some of the usual suspects. We had Tim there and Russ. And it was a good time. And, I think Nelson's there too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nelson's there. Yeah, I'm almost positive Nelson's there. So, I mean, they're just doing their thing. And Sean called me and he goes, hey, I'm going to leave an FTG for you that you can either bank and use for another time or run it this week. But, man, it's a doozy, and I want to make sure I get it recorded now. So I told him, I said, here's the voicemail number. Go ahead, give me a call, and sound off on it. So this is what Sean had to share with me.
Hey, everybody. This is Sean the Fisherman on the road with this week's Fuck That Guy. I would like to talk a little bit about what I experienced when I was at the campground and went to take a shower early Friday morning. I went into the bathroom and thought that a sewer line was open because it smelled like shit. Well, to my surprise, someone had shit in both the shower stalls. So whoever did that, the mad shitter, fuck that guy. Again, fuck that mad shitter. Talk to you guys soon.
Fucking mad shitter, man. That's awful. Like who does that? Who's like, I got one of them, but I think I could squeeze a toozy into that second stall too. Or who's just like, that's not a freaking tightly coiled pile. Let me go ahead and this is how it's done.
Sean either he's just mad at a 16-year-old waitress at IHOP, or somebody nailed a pelican to a boat launch board. He's so extreme. He's cussing out for nobody to put too much salt on his burger or something, or somebody shit in his shower.
Here's the thing, God, you two
in the shower though
anymore, right?
Germans.
But how do you have enough shit to shit in 2 showers?
Well, I think that's why I'm thinking it's probably not one person. It's somebody that's like, you call that a shit?
Flinging gang and
it's kind of like
the shitters.
Like, oh, I'm gonna out shit that son of a bitch.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I'd be fucking pissed.
God, yeah, I'd be absolutely. So what was? I guess there's more to the story actually that he didn't leave in that. Apparently, he went to talk with management of the campground where they were staying to let him know, like, hey, what the fuck's up with this? Blah, 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 blah.
Someone shit in the shower.
You know, he's like, somebody shit in the shower. And he's like, he was explaining the situation. He's like, yeah, we're up here. We're fishing the EKF tournament, blah, 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 doing whatever. And the guy goes, well, did you catch him? And Sean goes, no, I didn't go looking for the mad shitter. And he goes, fish. Did you catch fish? The guy just makes us all fired up. He's like, I'm sorry you walked into a fucking biohazard in our facilities over here.
I love Sean.
And he's like a passionate individual, so I can't
That's a good way to put it.
To anybody less than a level of a 40 volume. Like he's
well, Rachel used to say he was Karen. He was a Karen.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That, this story, somebody shit in the shower and he went and talked to the manager.
Well, I mean, I understand.
I agree with him. Oh, I agree with him.
No, I remember why she used to say he was a Karen was because he lives on a lake and is sick of the people that just go in and they're like, oh, I know somebody and blah, 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 blah. And it's, the trespassing. I get that. I totally get that.
Dude, Sean, his stories are the funniest. The laptop still makes me laugh all the time. Where he almost punched the dude for picking up his laptop for him. Pissed his pants. Sean, we love you.
Oh man,
we love you, Sean.
I don't know. I think so. I have a feeling he fell asleep and he's not watching this. He's like, guys, you should throw me that link so I can watch the live stream.
No,
when it's going on. Yeah, he definitely would have commented. Although we have some people watching. I don't know. It's pretty nuts. Unbelievable. So Ellie, you have an FTG as well, and I feel like yours.
And the shitting in the shower, dude.
Shitting in the shower is bad.
That's a whole nother level.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was I experienced last week at the boat ramp, and I was doing a photo shoot, and I just got done, and I was in my car. And I was transferring photos from the cameras to my phone and iPad, and I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings. All I know is that I was parked in a marked parking spot, in a parking lot with the lines. You know how parking lots have lines?
Oh, yeah.
And the boat ramp has, when you're in the south, the boat ramp tends to have arrows of directions, and the parking spots are usually angled. They're pretty abundant and very obvious. Well, this fucker decided to park behind my car with his truck and trailer And it wasn't just my car. It was like 4 to 5 cars just park and disappear. But I didn't realize this happened until I went to go reverse, and my car went ding, 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 ding.
Oh.
And in the camera, I see a trailer, and I was like, no way, because I had to be somewhere by like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, no way. Maybe he's taking a shit. Maybe he's just, maybe they'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah, he went to the facilities and found the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we figured it out.
There we go.
So I gave it 10 minutes.
Oh
Still
man,
sitting
I would have
there.
been furious.
Oh, wow.
15, 20 minutes I get out of my car, and now I'm like trolloping around like, hey, do you have a red Ford with a trailer? Anybody know? And yeah, nobody. Dead silent. Nobody. Just a parked truck trailer behind me, blocked. And it was like upwards of an hour that I was blocked in because this douche nozzle decided to just park wherever he decided to park.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
man.
I see this guy come out of the slip with these like propane tanks and this cut. You know those, I think, Bill, you might actually have, do you wear those cut shirts down to your waist, the 80s muscle?
No.
You know, the open side.
I wish I could, but no. I'm not ready for him.
But okay,
yeah, I'm not ready
this
for him.
dude was full-fledged cut shirt, propane tank, and just walks to his truck casually.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Come
like,
on.
hey, I've been trying to get out of this spot for over an hour. And he just looks at me and goes, oh. And I was like,
my God.
It was in that moment I was like, okay.
In that moment, like, Ellie turned into Robert De Niro in Goodfellas and was like, hey, fuckos, let's go.
Dude, my French temper was fucking, my face and neck. Right now, look at, I'm literally, I'm boiling because I get mad about.
You're fiery.
Like, no awareness of anybody else.
I hate that.
Especially, you know what, in a field, maybe, sure. In a fucking boat ramp parking lot?
It's so tight anyway.
That shit pisses me off.
Mad. I agree with you, Loaded Potato. I would have damaged some shit.
Yep, he says, what a shit move. Fuck that guy. A motherfucker maybe missing his valve stems when he returned. Yeah, and understandably so. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The unawareness is what drives me bananas.
Yeah.
You know, when people are
I
just
think it's just like the entitlement and like not caring.
For sure. Absolutely.
You make the decision to park there. You're not just like stuck and like you're not just like parking there. You're aware and you're making the decision of parking horizontally behind a stretch of like 5 to however many vehicles.
Yeah.
Don't be that. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy. That's terrible.
Don't be that guy.
You hear that? If you're listening, Hasselhoff, fuck you.
Fuck you,
Don't be that guy.
Fuck you, side boob shirt.
Yeah.
For real.
That's his deal. God, that is awful, man.
Like no like just no fucks given. Like oh
yeah. Sorry about your luck, lady.
I think I just got a text from the butcher and he goes, I've done that, LOL. And I'm hoping he's talking about he mistakenly left his car blocking people in. I'm hoping it's that he did that and not shit in the stalls in the showers.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's what the butcher's saying. Because otherwise the butcher might have a different nickname soon. Good Lord.
You're disgusting, Ryan.
Oh no, he says the Mountain Dew. The Mountain Dew. He's still watching. He goes,
well,
the Mountain Dew.
Now,
the Mountain Dew.
Now we're not sure.
Okay, well at least he hasn't shit in. Oh my God. Oh, this is the greatest freaking episode of this show that's ever happened, man. I love it.
Jesus.
I freaking love it, man.
All right, yeah, so fuck that guy for sure.
Fuck that guy, 100%. That is terrible. So before we get into our next segment, what you guys are in store for, what we have in store for you, I should say, is just an absolute amazing tale that had to come from the source itself. So we've got Cody, Lockwood Fishing. He is going to tell the entire tale about this outing, and I'm going to post a couple of pics, probably Tuesday when this drops. So you guys will be able to see this, but these are images from this is like the aftermath of what he's talking about, and it is wild. I will say this much. It is not for the faint of heart, and I think it took a lot for him to share this story with us, because it's something. He even says, explaining it, he's like, I'm embarrassed by this, but he goes, I want to share it so that people can kind of have an idea of like what you could be getting into. So it's a very good thing, but my goodness, guys, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we have much more show right after this. Jigs and Bigs is your favorite fishing podcast, right? Why not show the world how much you love the show while directly supporting us? We have men's and ladies' shirts, hoodies, and a variety of hats. We even have a waterproof outdoor Bluetooth speaker so you can listen to your favorite podcast while out on the water if you like. Check out jigsandbigs.com/shop to visit the store and gear yourself up. If you really can't get enough of this show, consider becoming a jighead and joining our Patreon. It's a subscription that gives you exclusive access to recording sessions that allow you to engage with us as we record the show. We also have some exclusive content there just for our jigheads, and even have some special promo codes. Space is limited, so join now at jigsandbigs.com. Finally, if you're local to our area in Western Massachusetts, consider checking out the Western Mass Fishing Report, posted weekly at northeastwildwoman.com. We have amazing contributors providing great content and info for local conditions and what's been going on and working recently. Jigs and Bigs, so much more than just two lightly roasted hippies trapped in the 90s arguing on the internet about fishing. Alrighty, guys, Bobby Roast Beef here. This is not your typical interview segment here that you normally get. We have a guest that we have is kind of infamous on the show, and we've had him on before. We've had him on live streams before. It's the one and only Cody Van Zandt, the one and only Lockwood Fishing. But now Cody has a story for all of us, and this story started with a series of images that were that pulled out of me an audible gasp when I first saw these pictures. Cody, first off, how are you, dude? How are things?
Hey, man, I'm vertical.
That's good. That's a step in the right direction, man. Mr. Positive Energy, I love it. Hey, I was just telling Sean about some of my favorite highlights of the Crumpton Chronicles that Hookset Hoodlums had put out on their YouTube channel. Man, that looked like such a goddamn good time, dude. That looked like a blast.
We really did, man. We had so much fun, and I mean, all you guys. I just appreciate all you guys, and really, and I'm glad that that we've become friends, acquaintances, and all that stuff, and Drew and Billy were it was just a good time, man. It was like we've known each other all our lives, and just it's how it is.
I love it. I think it's amazing. It's absolutely cool as hell. So the week that Sean is going to be traveling all over the place, you guys, your paths are going to cross, and there was talk about me coming down there and also crashing that. But I have a conflict, a fishing conflict actually, for that window of time, and it involves Delirious.
Okay.
He and I have plans to fish over the day that you guys are going to be in Crumpton fishing, and I may see if Delirious is game to join me down there.
Well, I've been riding his ass to come anyway.
This might be the sort of the push that he needs, because what I'm thinking about doing, if we do it, I won't be able to do it with my trailer, right. and we won't be able to do it with his, but I'm thinking we'll just rent a U-Haul trailer, like a big wide utility trailer, and then we'll just pop both of our boats on there and then just let it rip. Hey
man,
we'll go.
It's wide open. Like I said, I've been riding his ass continuously, and he we talked, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I got some vacation coming up, maybe August, maybe July. I'm not real sure, but I'm planning I just don't know when. So maybe give him a little goose, Bobby. And
I'll see. Because we have some plans lined up, and he gave me a lineup of dates, and I was like, well, let's do this one. Not even thinking about it, and I'm like, well, we got this lined up, so I'm going to see if I can get him to go for it, because that would be great. Because I think the drive
fucking epic, bro.
We looked at it, and it's like a 5-hour drive. Like, is it a long ride?
It's not, and it's all highway, Bobby.
Yeah,
it's all highway.
Yeah, so I think it should happen. I think it'll be worth doing. I think it could be an absolute blast. So we'll see what we can do. We'll make it a good old freaking party down there in Crumpton. It'll be awesome.
Let's go, baby.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about this. For those that don't know, let me paint the picture with my words. So in the Hookside Hoodlums Pro Staff chat, you know, the infamous group DM. Along in the feed, I pop in there every once in a while, and I saw this picture of a pair of legs that looked like they had been slashed with razor wire, and Sean kind of put it in the best sort of wrestling reference ever. Go for it, Sean. Lay that sucker out.
Looked like Cody was in a barbed wire match in Philadelphia circa 1997.
Yeah.
ECW.
when it was just all shock and awe. I mean, it was disturbing. I saw this, I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I was told that there is a story, and that's what we're here to find out. So Cody, I give the floor is yours.
So I've been keeping my canoe on to access the body of water I fish. I've been keeping it on a very long time friend's family's property. I have there's other access points, but where I've been keeping it, it's just been it's just how it worked out. So without getting into too much detail on the whys, I'm no longer keeping my canoe at that property. So, contacted. So it's a corporation that owns the body of water because it's used as irrigant for fields.
Oh, okay.
So I contacted because I actually lease, the body of water. Me and a group of other people lease the body of water itself. And the corporation that owns the water, they also owned a large section of land that goes to the water. It's wooded, and then it's field and all this and that. So I contacted him. I hadn't talked to the guy in a few years, and I just let him know. I was like, look, I'm going to be, my pickup drop-off point is going to be on your end of it now.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, no problem. And do whatever you want. So the last time I had been on Jones Lake property and in the woods was 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, walked the woods because I had hunted the woods a little bit and, used it as access here and there. And it was a woods, you know what I mean?
Yep.
There were spots that were, bad, but not, overly insurmountable or anything like that. So the day I decided to move my canoe, I said, I'm just going to fish it out from where it's at. And then I'm going to fish out. And it was June 14th. It was the night of the supermoon. And I said, I'll just pull up to Jones Lake side when I'm done. And I'll walk out from there. I hadn't walked the woods in 30 years. And you know what they say, assumption is the mother of all fuck ups. So I just assumed that it was the same woods that I had been in 30 years ago. And it's, from the water to the outside of the woods to the field, point A to point B, it's maybe 800 feet, give or take.
Okay.
And it's a little bit of an incline because it's a bottom.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's a little bit of an incline. It steadily goes up. So, it's an incline. But still, again, no big deal. So decided I'm going to, fish it out. And then when I was done fishing, I was just going to park up there on Jones' side and walk out of the woods. And I was like, I'm going to fish till the moon comes up. The moon didn't come up till around 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, since I haven't walked these woods in so long, and I had a headlight and everything, I was prepared. Well, I thought I was prepared. Since I haven't walked these woods in so long, I probably shouldn't go so late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was even more idiotic because if I would have waited till later, I would have had I would have been under the moon because. So anyway, I decided to come in right as it was getting dark, and that was like 8:45-ish.
Yep.
Anyway, so packed up my gear, packed my rods up, packed my little bag up. I had a case of water in the canoe, and so I, the little tiny water bottles. So I pounded 2 bottles real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Took a couple of potassium pills, and because I'd been out since noon that day.
Oh yeah.
So I was shot out anyway because it was high ceiling, full sun from 12 noon to 8 o'clock at almost 9 o'clock at night. Me and Tally, of course.
Yep.
And so I was like, I'll bring some water. And then I was like, I'm not even going to need water. I'm walking 800 feet up an incline. You know what I mean? No big deal.
Yep.
And of course, I was barefoot. Of course.
Yeah.
So it's kind of embarrassing almost. It's not kind of. It is embarrassing because I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I'm the outdoors guy. You know what I mean? I know north, south, east, west. I know how to orientate myself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If I have a compass, I know how to do dead reckoning. Like, I'm that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I take off, and it's okay. Like I said, it's a little bit of a bottom. And I knew there was some, like, wood bog, like the black mud you get in bottoms of woods.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That can be, you can sink in sometimes. I knew there was that because there was a bottom. So I was expecting that. No big deal. Can't kill you.
Yeah, of course.
Well, so, I got 6 poles, whatever, with me. And, they're poles.
Yeah.
Bag on my back. And I start to get in some thick stuff. And, making my way through. No machete, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Start making my way through. And it's like, man, it's thick. Vine and undergrowth. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then I start to notice. And then I get further in, and I remember back, and I was like, you know what? They just logged these woods like a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. I know it's been recent because I remember talking to Mr. Jones, and he had some really nice poplar standing there, beautiful, long, straight pecker poles, big old poplar. And and I had seen him serendipitously, and he was telling me that some Amish guys had rode by and found out who owned the woods, and they contacted him and they asked him if they could take the poplar out of there, and if he would let them, they would clean up all that. We call it lapwood. I don't know where. I know lapwood refers to like siding, a joint in siding, lap siding and stuff like that. But for whatever reason around here, we call like fall downs and trees that have fell down and rotten trees. We call it lap. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
So he said, they agreed, they said they would take all the old lap out of there and clean it up, and blah, blah, blah. And, so all that came to mind. So I was like, man, this wood's been logged. It could be because, when you log the woods, there's less canopy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So when there's less canopy, it gives all that gnarly shit, all the thistle, briar, thorn, vine,
more sunlight,
fern, all that shit. It gives all that shit sunlight, and it just takes the fuck over. Just takes over. Literally takes over. So I'm like, yeah, well, it still shouldn't be bad. It still shouldn't be bad. You know what I mean? I just can't imagine. So I keep going. I keep getting in thicker shit. And it got to the point to where I'm going to try to express how thick it was so people could understand.
Mm-hmm.
It was like claustrophobic thick. So it was in your face and over top of your head. You would come, and what I'm talking about is vinage, any kind of vining plant.
Yep.
And then what comes with that is thistle, briar, thorn wrapped up in it.
Yep.
So it was claustrophobic thick. It was in your face. So I'm like, man, I'm not going to be able to, and again, I just don't know what I was thinking because I just did not. I was just thinking that I could still just walk out of these woods. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get through here with these poles because they're getting hung up in the thistle and the vine. My backpack's getting hung up. So I remembered. Now, by this time, I'm pretty deep into some gnarly shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So I remembered like maybe 10 feet back, there was a small clearing. So I'm like, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit and I'm going to dump my gear. And then I'll come back for my gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How hard can it be to find in a 800 maximum 1,000-yard wide wood? But it's a good length of a finger wood. It's long, but it's not wide. How hard can it be to find?
Yep.
Double back, drop my gear, and then I start to think, well, maybe I should go back to the canoe and maybe go down further and find a better point. Blah blah blah. But again, I'm a dumbass. I've always had to learn the hard way my entire life. So
Join the club.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm back into the thick I go. So I knew I had to go south. I knew where south was because I knew south was. And now there's no reception down there, so it's not like I could like look on any of my location or anything. I don't even have none of that shit turned on my phone because, like Sean said, I don't trust lizard people. So
sure, yeah.
So I knew I had to go south. I knew south was going to bring me straight out of the woods if I could keep in somewhat of a straight line.
Yep.
And I dead wrecked a little bit because you could see silhouettes. So I dead wrecked a little bit. I would see a tall tree and I'd keep my eye on it. And I'd head towards that tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you always had to look up because if you kept looking down, it
all
was
looked the
pitch
same.
black. You couldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
But if you looked up to where you could see the horizon, because like I said, it's a gradual grade, but it's 60. By the time you get to the top of it, it's maybe 60 feet high. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you couldn't look in front of you because you just see nothing. And if you had your headlight on, the bugs, which
God.
I just don't mind. I don't really care about the bugs.
Sure.
But you just can't leave the light on for any duration. You got to click it on, get your bearings, click it off. You know what I mean? And make sure you can move forward. So I get further in and, my feet are getting cut up somewhat. And, whatever. That's whatever. Not really my feet, but like my ankles and shit.
Yep.
So I get further in, and it's a bit of a fight, whatever. And then I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be like this all the way. I think I'm just going to go back to the canoe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tried to go back to the canoe.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got twisted around, and I'm embarrassed to say this. I got twisted around. So tried to make it back to the canoe. And look, man, it's not hard to get twisted around, even in the small woods.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not. It's not. So I got twisted around. I tried to go back to the canoe, and I kept doubling back. I couldn't even find a clearing where I dropped my gear. And I kept getting into thicker shit. And then I kept trying to orientate myself to the horizon, which I was doing. But I orientated myself. So I decided to try to go back out to the woods. But I orientated myself to the wrong part of the horizon. So instead of south, I orientated myself east, which ran the length of the woods ran east. The length of the woods ran east.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm going in, and I got in. So when I'm getting further in, so the briars are at this time. The briars, they're caught in my hair. They're pulling at my shirt. I lost my hat. My legs are starting to become shredded.
Oh yeah.
And then I got into a section that was what we call lap. So it was a bunch of fall downs. Because generally, so it's kind of a wetland down there at the bottom. You know what I mean? So, whole trees will fall, root ball and all come up. And when that happens, that's called soil disturbance. So, the tree next to it'll fall. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and the tree next to it'll fall.
Yep.
So you get sections of woods that are wetlands where there'll be, a pretty good stand of trees that have fallen down, just all fell.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these trees and they were big trees. They're big fucking trees. Big fucking oaks and poplars, like humongous.
Yeah.
80, 90 feet tall trees that fell down. So, but they've been fell down for a long time. They were old. So they fell down, and all the undergrowth had grown over top of them and covered them. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, you get up to it, you're fighting through the undergrowth, and you get to these fall downs. You can't see them, so you kind of like, run into them with either your knees, legs, or depending on how high they are. I hit my head on one time, ducking under some vine. So, you got to either try to find a way around them, which is impossible because they're long, or you go up and over. So I'm missing a point here. So it got so thick that Tally couldn't even get through.
Oh, wow.
And her poor little feet were getting just shredded. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I had to, how like a shepherd carries a lamb, puts it around its neck.
Yep.
So I had to carry Tally around my neck.
Oh my God.
And there was points where I had to put her up on top fall downs, and then I had to climb on top.
Yep.
Climb over.
And then pick her back up.
Grab her, put her back around my neck.
Damn.
So I was probably making, I want to say, 6, 8, 10 feet every hour.
Oh my God.
I can't, I don't really know. I'm just.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring any water. Well, 2 hours in, I needed water. I needed water bad because it was balls hot anyway.
Sure.
And I was down in the bottom in thick jungle. I'm just going to say it's fucking jungle. So the heat, like, it doesn't get a chance to escape. You look out of the field, you see the thermals coming off the field. That heat's escaping off that ground all day.
Yeah, but when there's all that growth, it holds it.
It doesn't. It's a bread oven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And not only that, it's moist because there's dew and moisture, and so it's
swampy.
So,
yeah.
Probably didn't help that you were wearing a dog as a scarf for most of this.
No, didn't help that I had a Australian cattle dog stole around my neck.
True.
Definitely didn't help I was barefoot.
Definitely not.
Definitely didn't help I was barefoot. And definitely didn't help that like a jackass. Because guys, I pride myself on preparedness. I won't go to Walmart. I won't go to Walmart without something to start a fire with.
Yeah.
Or something to fucking cut skin, or you know what I mean? Like, I've always got a tool, my survival tool on, always. And not that I needed that really, you know what I mean? What I really needed, where I really failed, was the water situation. So 2 hours in, I needed water, and I needed it bad because I had lost, I didn't have anything left. It got so bad that my hand had balled up in the fist, both my hands. And they just wanted to stay clenched. And then my calves, Charlie horses.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? My calves felt, they would knot up so bad. If there was a fall down tree somewhere, I'd have to fucking, and I get Charlie horses anyway, but these were exceptionally bad. I don't know if anybody was around while I was screaming to the top of my lungs from the Charlie horses that were coming on, and they wouldn't go away. It was torture. And, you know, they'd come on and my leg would straighten right out. And I'd, and I'm trying to rub it out and shit. You know what I mean? No pun intended.
I actually looked from this weekend at the Bigfoot Research Organization's website. Hundreds of calls in the Maryland area that
I'm
night.
telling you right now, if anybody, because not far from where I was at, there's a little house right on the edge of that field, and they got a deck and a little pool, and people are out there all the time. So if they were out, they definitely heard Sasquatch screaming in pain,
crashing through the undergrowth with a dog around his neck.
And I mean crashing. So I'll get to the crashing part. Well, let's get to the crashing part in a second. So anyway, no water, and I'm severely dehydrated 2 hours in. Severely dehydrated.
Yeah. I've been there, like, where your hands are like,
dude,
they just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Everything's swelling.
It wasn't right. Like, I was seeing spots, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I'm going to fucking, like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I'm going down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I go down in here. So no cell phone reception. So even if I wanted to call somebody to get rescued, which I would never fucking do, I'd rather die than have somebody rescue me. There's no way to do that.
Yeah.
Just not. So I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to go down, and it's not going to be good if I go down. So I'm crashing through, and there was points to where it was so thick that, you know, to like try to weasel your way through, and you know, I had a stick and I'm beating shit out of the way, but it was so thick that I would actually turn my back to it and like come up on my tippy toes and spread my arms out like I was getting ready to do a triple Lindy backflip off an Olympic diving board. And I would jump backwards into the overgrowth to lay it down. You know what I mean? I'd use my body as like a
plank.
So I jump backwards and fall into it.
Like a battering ram.
Yeah. And there was times I didn't fall. It didn't lay it down. I jump backwards and just and be at a 45-degree angle, you know, bouncing back and forth and vine and thistle, briar, thorn.
Crumpton PD, Officer Wiskarski speaking. My God, we've got Sasquatch mating in the woods. They're everywhere. The sounds are horrible. The smell.
Hey, a side note, I found a lot of wild blackberry and wild raspberry briar.
So that's a silver lining.
I mean, beautiful.
Yeah.
And they were coming on, both of them, raspberry and blackberries were already coming on. Anyway, I'm sure they're delicious, but not fun to be fucking jumping into.
No,
as
definitely
a
not.
ram. So, and Devil's Walking Sticks, you guys know what they are, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so a lot of those. Too many. Too many Devil's Walking Sticks. And not just little spindly Devil's Walking Sticks. You're talking about, like, good small tree size Devil Walking Sticks. Anyway, so there was a time to where I had to scale up on top of this tree. So I had Tally around my neck, and I held her with one arm. I held her with my left. I got my toe dug in and got my right hand up and grabbed a handful of undergrowth, pulled myself up, and then I kind of leaned in, got my right hand up higher, and I pulled myself up and got up and like horse straddled the top of the tree, still with Tally on my neck. And then once I get on top of it, I could see it was kind of clear down it, you know what I mean? So I could kind of like, balance beam, but it was a wide tree, so it wasn't hard to do. I could kind of like shuffle down to the lower part. So I'm shuffling down, and I get to this part of the tree I was on top of, where there was some overgrowth, so you really couldn't see the tree. And I was like, "What are trees underneath here?" Well, it wasn't. It was the top of it. It was the starting of branches.
Yep.
Now.
Oh, Jesus.
Again, old tree.
Yep.
Old tree. Okay. So I get to that part, and when I stepped, it gave way underneath me because the branches.
Jesus.
And I fell. Wow, down, boom, and I hit feet first. But when I hit feet first, I went through like more branches and thistle briar.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went through some heinous shit. So I'm like, man, fuck it, I'm fuck. So I put Tally down, and I'm like fucking trying to crash this shit out of the way, and it was just all the top of the tree in front of me. It was all just branches in front of me, all grown over. So I'm stepping up on top of all these fucking branches, and I kept crashing through them, but not falling. But my feet kept crashing through.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes just to the bottom of my knee or just above my ankle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But every time I did that, and it happened a lot in that moment. There was briar and all that shit, thistle and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it had, I don't know if you looked at the one picture pretty close, but you could see where there was no hair left on both of my shins.
Oh, yeah.
From the top of my foot just about to the bottom of my knee. And how the skin was shiny. Well, that's because it had stripped the first top layer of skin completely off.
Man.
Both sides of my fucking legs.
That's unreal.
And I felt it doing it. And I mean, the pain was excruciating. It hurt.
Yeah.
You know, it fucking hurt.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't be a bitch. You can't stop. So you got to push through that. So I did. I kept going at every step. Every fucking step, man. It was like fucking somebody was shaving my fucking skin off.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what was happening. That's crazy.
Hitting it with a blowtorch and then putting grain alcohol on it after. It was excruciating. So I finally get through that, but that fucked me up. Fucked me up bad because every step I took after that was, I knew the pain was coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was coming. And then eventually it just got to the point to where, pain has a threshold. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like getting a tattoo. It hurts for the first hour or so.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So eventually I got to the point to where I knew the pain was coming and I could feel it, but it just didn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't registering to my head. So, like, man, how? And I'm still trying to keep oriented on the horizon. I'm like, man, how am I not out of these fucking woods yet? So then again, I decide to think that I'm going to try to make it back down to the water. I don't care where I come out on the water. I don't care how far I come out beyond, above the canoe, whatever. I'm going to get in the fucking water and swim to find my fucking canoe. Again, I could not do it. And again, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I really need to fucking, I don't know what else I could do. So I could not do it. I couldn't even find the edge because again, the water line's in the bottom. So it's, you can't see no, like light through the woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I couldn't do it. So fast forward a little bit. I'm 4 hours in. Oh. 4 hours in.
Holy shit.
No water. Still. And Tally's fucked up. I'm fucked up. Because there was just points where I couldn't just carry her. You know what I mean? I had to put her down and I had to be like, come the fuck on. You just gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta come on, Tally. You gotta come on. And she'd be wait back and whimper and bark at me and shit. Because she's getting ripped up as I'm getting ripped up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going through. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even whether she's walking or on my neck, she's getting ripped up either fucking way. The poor pads of her little feet, man. I almost cried when I saw them when I got home.
Oh yeah, you never want to see your pets go through some shit like that. No.
So 4 hours in, no water, and I'm at this point. I don't even know. Like, and I'm not trying to sound like anything. I'm not trying to say it was a life or death thing. It could have it wasn't. It may have been. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. But at that point, I had to like dig, and I've had to dig deep to get through some shit before. But I had to dig really deep. You know what I mean? And so I just start like fucking like berserker style. You know what I mean? Like fucking found 2 decent, because just about every stick you picked up was rotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just about every fucking stick you picked up was rotten. So I found a decent swinging stick, and I found another one, and I was, man, I got to get the fuck out of these woods. So I'm swinging these sticks, and I'm fucking going through them, climbing over shit, sinking down. Let me say this. So the wetland part, the muddy bog part of it.
Yeah.
That night, and I know this now because yesterday I just went back to find my gear and found it.
Oh, okay.
And I had to go through some of the muddy bog, which it wasn't so muddy yesterday. And I realize now, when you have a full moon, you know what I mean? That's why they say never to fill a hole in on a full moon.
Yep.
It pulls water up out of the ground. So that night it was the super moon. So it was especially boggy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I went out there yesterday, I could walk on top of it and sink a little bit, but there was times where I was sinking up to my fucking knees. And I don't know if you know anything about the black boggy wood mud. It's not normal mud. It's very thick. It's very dense because of the detritus that has decomposed in it over the fucking years. It's very, very thick, very, very dense. And your feet get a certain way down into it. You have to get, if you got to kind of lay down or get down on your knee because you can't pull your foot straight out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. I've actually
the mass of your foot that mud will not allow that to go through.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of like kneel down and point your toes straight back down in the mud, and then do like you're doing a hamstring lift on a machine.
Yep.
And bring your foot out that way, heel first. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of slip it out almost backwards.
Right. Right, exactly. So you're bringing your foot out lengthwise instead of flat like you're trying to pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of that. And so I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so I'm berserker style, chopping, slashing, severely dehydrated. Like, I think I might have been hallucinating at this time a little bit, and not because of mushies or LSD.
Yeah.
Although, I'll say this. I did bring a tab of acid with me, and I thought about taking it when I started fishing, and I'm glad I did not.
Exactly.
I probably would be a cave troll underneath a down tree.
Oh,
right
definitely. Definitely,
mushrooms growing out of my fucking face. You know what I mean? So
it sounds like you kind of were already that night.
Well, I was.
He would have. He would have committed to the lifestyle at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was no going back.
There was no returning. Yeah.
Exactly. So before I had left my canoe, as I was coming up to the spot, I called my buddy Tyson.
Yep.
Because he was going to pick me up. Because out on the lake part, there is somewhat of enough service to text. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Whatever. So I called Tyson. I'm like, yo, man, I'm coming up to the spot. I'll be out of the woods. I'll be up and out of the woods in the next 35, 40 minutes. He was like, all right, I'm leaving in 20. Because, I don't drive it. Got to get picked up.
Yep.
Well, that ship sailed because he couldn't call me. I couldn't call him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just hadn't shown up.
It was it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was it. So I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything because I'm trying to prolong it. But I told you I didn't think it would make a whole thing. Anyway, I finally come out of the woods, and the spot where I came out at into the field. Later on, I kind of, you know, how you can Google Earth and do a measurement. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I traveled anywhere between 12 to 1,500 feet, okay? Easterly instead of south.
Yeah.
It took me a little over 4 hours to go that distance.
Wow.
I got up into the field, and I tried to call Tyson. Of course, it's after midnight at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No answer. So my other buddy, tried to call him. He didn't answer. Shot him a text, and I'm like, yo, got in some bad shit out here in the woods in Jones's. Because he knows the area. He's fished with me. I said, I'm at the edge of the woods in the cornfield. Give me a call or whatever. You know what I mean? So, you know, the adrenaline started to leave me at that point. You know what I mean? So I said, I'm just going to sit down and just wait a minute because I was done, fellas. Like it was it.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything left in me 2 hours ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let alone then. So I was like, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to wait, see if anybody calls. And, you know, turn my headlight on, make sure I wasn't on any, you know, whatever. It was a cut field. It hadn't planted anything yet. It had been tilled earlier in the year, nothing planted. So I kind of just like sweep my foot around, make myself a little, you know, spot and sit down. Well, next thing I know, I'm waking up to a fucking thunderstorm and the fucking sky's bright because the sun's getting ready to come up. I fucking fell asleep in the fucking field.
Oh, shit.
Woke up and tally at my feet, and I'm getting rained on, and look at my phone, and is that because I look at my phone and I see Jake had text me. He's like, "Where you at? Where you at?" I'm riding through. Didn't you hear a horn beat? So he's riding up and down Blanco Road, which is out beyond the field.
Yep.
At like, you know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, beeping the horn, whatever time it was, beeping the horn. You know what I mean? Flashing sensors. I didn't, none of that, nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it, nothing. So I call him. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm still out in this field." He answers the phone. He's like, "Bro, where you at? We've been looking for you." I'm still out in this field. I just woke up, and I'm gonna make my way out to the road. And he was like, "All right, I'm at my house. I'll be there in 20." And walked out, really fucked up.
Yep.
Really, really fucked up.
I bet.
Really, really fucking thirsty. Like I know how people, if hell exists, I know how badly they want water now.
Yeah.
And stood there alongside the road. Me and Tally, Jake came, picked me up, brought me home, drank a shit ton of water, and went to work.
Damn, dude. What a fucking wild-ass story, dude.
That's the end.
Oh, my God.
We're lucky you're still here, man. I mean, that sucks to hear.
Yeah, that's really, like, you really are very lucky that you made it out of there.
Man, I just don't know if it was a life or death thing. I just, it could have been, very well could have been. I just don't know. I will say this. I don't know, and I'm not trying to say that I'm anything. I'm not. But,
yeah.
Like, I've been through some pretty rough fucking shit in my life, so I know how to dig deep and fucking keep moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if somebody that didn't know how to do that, didn't know how to call that kind of shit up, was in that, I don't think they would have been in. I don't think it would have been too good for them.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
So,
dude, that is fucking wild.
Yeah. And where I'm working, I had to fucking roll around a crawl space that day with no skin on my legs. And
oh my freaking God!
Lacerated from my ankles to my fucking knees. And I mean, some of them were. Look, when I fell, one of the moments where I fell through the branches.
Yep.
A pointy branch caught the bottom. What's this? My right. Caught the on my right foot, the bottom of my right foot, just on the left side of it, just in front of the back of my heel.
Oh,
almost where your arc starts. It caught it, and it took like a walnut-sized chunk of meat out of it. Just got like a big hole in my fucking foot. So
holy shit,
walnut sized.
Maybe almond size. I don't know.
So nasty. Yeah.
Regardless, walnut, almond, it's a fucking big asshole. But yeah. So yeah, rolled around in a cross piece for a few hours after that.
I'm like savage. That's all that comes to mind. Anybody else who is in that situation, I think, would have been fucked. Like it's.
I mean, look, man.
It sounds like you got out by the skin of your teeth. You know?
Hear people doing extraordinary things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not. I don't. I'm not saying it was extraordinary. I did an extraordinary thing. There's people who've been through shit that doesn't. You can't even go on the fucking plate with it. You know what I mean?
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking gnarly though. It was pretty fucking gnarly. I'm actually healing up pretty good now.
That's good.
You know what I mean? And
that's real good.
I did I'm doing a cycle of penicillin Bactin because you can very easily get some fucked up shit from that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can get sick. You can get septic. You know what I mean? You get fucking gangrene. Like, I'm lacerated and fucking put my foot down. My legs are lacerated and then they're sinking in black fucking wood mud.
Oh yeah. Who knows what kind of bacteria you could pick up?
Oh my God! I'm probably carrying something that the fucking Wuhan lab wish they had at this point.
I can't believe it, dude. That is absolutely fucking bananas. Thank you for sharing the story with us, dude. It's just an absolute riot. I can't even imagine. Like, oh my God. How's Tally doing?
She's fantastic, bro.
Okay, good.
I think she's a little up on herself because she made it through.
Yeah.
So she's not listening to me. So anyway, long story short, I'm not going to be using that. I've got another spot to access my canoe that's actually
thank God.
Pretty fucking Cadillac.
I was just going to ask.
It's more Cadillac than the spot prior. It's fucking a luxury entrance.
That's awesome.
I was about to ask if my tour of Crumpton this summer would include the Sasquatch mating grounds.
I got the red carpet VIP access point now.
Good. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely going in my kayak now. So
okay.
That is a light at the end of the tunnel right there. I love it. Man.
Oh, man.
Cody, that is a freaking awesome, man. Unbelievable. Thanks for doing it.
Bobby, thanks for having me on. And allowing me
glad to, man. I'm gonna talk to Delirious this week, and we're gonna come up with a plan, see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, buddy, come on, man.
Sweet.
Come on, it's been nasty, dust off.
Yep.
Bill, Drew, and now you guys. Like, I want the whole crew eventually to run through this motherfucker.
I'm all about it.
So, hey, boys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk soon.
You're the best, man. Thank you.
I will see you soon, definitely. And Bobby's a maybe. But
I'm looking forward to it. I'm rolling the red carpet out for you, Stretch.
Oh, you're all right, Cody.
I love it. All right, gentlemen.
I will make sure to give you a call at some point very soon, and we'll make sure our plans are set. But I'll be down. I'll be down to Crumpton. I want a T-shirt straight out of Crumpton.
Well, Terry Woodbanger up here, the Wu-Tang Clan, Korean Terry, he's got Crumpton Center of the Universe hats and T-shirts. I don't know if that'd do for you, but
I'm sure that it would. We might want to grab one for our friend Mark Huard as well.
For now.
I love it.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Appreciate you.
Hey, have a great night, Cody. Take care.
Sir. Thank you.
All right. See you, gentlemen. I'm going to bed.
Later.
All right. See you. It really is like my favorite stinger music to get back into. I love this. I don't know what it is about it. It feels right. You know what I mean? Bill had during that break had an emergency in the ball pit. Apparently, a kid had puked, and it required his specific level of expertise. So he's over there in the ball pit, scrubbing balls back up, getting so that you can enjoy your Ritz cracker ketchup Kraft singles pizza, and whatever else is going on over there at Chuck E. Cheese. Enjoy.
I mean, round of applause to the feet on the ground.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it. I freaking love it. That was an amazing show. I'm very, very excited by we made it through the whole thing. It was awesome. We had a great Just the Tip. We had 2 exciting FTG segments that we needed to get out there. We also, it was awesome. We got stuff to look forward to. I mean, this week has been amazing for all of us. We've all had stuff going on, and next week's going to be even more amazing because we're on location in Crumpton. A trip that's been over a year in the making. Like this needed to happen. So next week's show is going to be live on location. I am going to. So one thing I want to talk about before we go any further here is this. I'm actually going to reach over here. So, Jig Heads, for those of you that are still in here, I need you to do me a favor. Hit those comments if this live stream has been better, at least from my feed coming to you guys, better than previous, than maybe you've experienced in the past, as far as internet dropouts and freezing and stuff like that. Let me know in the comments here, because I want to go over some of the things that are going on. I had changed internet service providers, and this live stream is like the trial by fire to see if it's actually going to work out and do what I need it to do. I'm intentionally not plugged into the router. I'm connected wirelessly to see how, I want to know that we've got a step to go in the next direction or something here, but this is like it's a 5G service that I'm finally using, and part of this service is that they hooked me up with a hotspot.
Yeah.
Right. I have a hotspot, but it's pre-4G. Is this a 4G hotspot? Oh, no, I guess it is a 4G hotspot. Yeah, I have an old Verizon hotspot that I've used previously, and it works fine. It does the job. But for live streaming and stuff, it really does come up short. It really does. This is some new stuff, and I'm hoping that it's pretty good. Fish in the Sticks has seen some shit go down. He jumps in and he says, "Haven't noticed any issues outside doing yard work." Okay, this is good. At least it's happening. I got a text coming in from the one and only Sean the Fisherman. Figured, and I was at dinner, so I missed everything. Oh, he's not even watching this. Oh, he's a bastard. This makes more sense. Ellie's easier to look at than Sean. That alone makes the live episode better. The stream is good too, I guess. That's good. I'm glad it's working out. Learned about waffle stomps. That's true too. I might start a band.
I learned about the waffle. Yeah. I didn't know what waffle stomping was. I totally thought it's something having to do with something else, and it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So that was.
It's kind of interesting.
I also didn't know what a jellyfish was.
Well, now
I'm thinking of all the times I've heard jellyfish references and had no idea.
They just went right over your head, and now you're just like, you perverted piece of shit. Yeah.
Nat Geo up in here.
Oh, it's good. That's what we're all about: education and entertainment, edutainment. Edutainment.
Oh,
yeah, I love it. I love it. So, I'm using this new internet service. I'm hoping that this will allow for the live streams to be better and a little bit more reliable. But on top of that, what I'm really hoping is that we'll be able to live stream at least the audio. I'm not expecting to live stream the video from where we are, just because I know we're dealing with like cramped quarters. We're going to try and do this outside. The lighting's going to suck. But I do want to have a live stream of the audio, and maybe like I'll take a picture of everybody beforehand and post that as the video or something like that, so people will at least be able to see it.
Go live on Instagram.
We could do that too. See
if you can boost from there.
I'd like to. Well, the only issue with doing that, I really like the live stream stuff.
Oh, that's true. Patreon.
Yeah, we want to make the show recordings exclusive to our Jig Heads. But that said, there will be a lot of content creation happening just in general. Some of that stuff is going to be video and live streams from out on the water, especially as long as we can get signal. Yeah, we're going to be doing some shit. Yeah. It's going to be good. I'm I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Where was I going with that? Oh, we had mentioned food earlier here. Oh, Jerry Howe's even chiming in. He says, all good, no issues, fun show. This is awesome. I'm glad, Jerry. Good. So we had in our live stream, like little pre-production meeting, we discussed a couple of different things, and one of the things we mentioned was food. That we mention this all the time. Tonight, I want to share with you what I made on my grill. So my wife was like, oh, what should we do for dinner? I think I'm going to make some pasta. I think the kids really like that. And I was like, you know what? Why don't you save that for when I'm not here? I'm like, let me go fire up the grill. And I know that sounds terrible. Save that for when I'm not here.
Why don't you save that?
Yeah, save that. Let's put a pin in that right there. And then
thanks for your suggestion.
And we'll come back.
Placed in the box.
You know, yeah. Your feedback is important to us. Oh, what? These are divorce papers. Look. Oh, wow. No, I made the comment. I said, why don't we do something on the grill? Like, let's just, do something. And my wife is a sucker for just doing hamburgers and hot dogs. She loves it. But she's like, she goes, oh, the only burgers that we have in the house right now are these pre-cooked turkey burgers. And I said, save those for like lunches for the girls when they just got to nuke something or whatever, like fat, keep the convenience. I said, I know that we've got meat in the freezer. I said, let's do like some kind of mixed grill. And what she comes upstairs with was a package of ground pork and a package of meatloaf mix, which is beef, veal, and pork.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you think we can do with this? So I made meatloaf burgers tonight. I didn't use any filler. I just added some seasonings and mixed the meats together and then made patties. Yep. And I also made some Italian sausage and some, what do you call it? So some KM old time Franks. And, we just had a day with it. But these.
What do you put on top of your meatloaf?
What do you mean as far as a condiment?
Yeah.
Usually I'm a ketchup guy.
You are?
I am a ketchup guy. Yeah, when it comes to meatloaf, generally, yeah. My wife makes this like ketchup glaze that she puts over the top. Yeah, and that's really, really good.
That's what I was going to ask because I was like, my sister makes this like tomato paste brown sugar deal, and it's
I bet you it's
candy,
fucking amazing.
And I'm like, oh, I just want to eat the top.
It's so good. I like it. I like my meatloaf actually like plain. If I'm going to make like a meatloaf sandwich, the greatest condiment ever for something like that is caramelized onions. My God. My God.
I feel like caramelized onions you could put on anything.
You 100% could. You could put it on cornflakes and I'd be like, okay.
Dude,
cool.
You got caramelized onions on that?
Bring
Get
it
in my face. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hang on. Save those pre-cooked ones for the garbage can. Brian, you're not wrong. Not wrong. But, they do come in handy, especially dance is over now. Can we get a round of applause for dance being over?
Yay.
I am so sick and tired of my kids doing dance. And one of them is now responsible for her own dance stuff, which is great because she's got to take adult classes now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, of course, it was, before the recital last weekend, it was, we're not going to do dance. Delaney's going to do fencing instead. I might take a class, but my wife, she goes part-time to her class. Like, she doesn't, and she's never in the show. So she's like, I'm like, okay, it'll be what it is. It'll be fun. And she says, she goes on to say, after the show, she's like, yeah, I think we're all doing dance next year. And I'm like, fuck, come on. Cut the shit. It's so much money. It's so much money.
Everything's so much money.
It really is. It's a little ridiculous.
Dude.
There's two people now that say barbecue sauce hands down beats ketchup or tomato paste. I think that I would definitely agree with you. Although I would say this, I think some of the best Sweet Baby Ray's is a good barbecue sauce. I am a big fan of Dinosaur Barbecue. Wango Tango. It's a little spicy.
Really?
Yeah, it's
a
good.
Tangy.
Yeah, it's good.
Tangy.
Wango Tango. Yeah. If I'm going to have barbecue sauce all over my beard, I want it to be something craft and regional. You know what I mean?
Not Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad. I mean, there's just so
It's
many
like
good
America's
options.
favorite pastime.
It really is. It really, you know what Sweet Baby Ray's is? Sweet Baby Ray's is what Casey Masterpiece was in 1987.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like, I thought in you know, a 10-year-old Bobby Roast Beef thought fucking Casey Masterpiece was some shit. You know, Sweet Baby Ray's is good. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is you can get it anywhere. You know? You really can.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I could walk out on the street and say, anybody got some barbecue sauce? They're probably going to throw me Sweet Baby Ray's. Bone-sucking sauce.
Yeah.
That's another good brand, too.
What is it?
Bone-sucking sauce.
Oh.
You never heard of this?
No.
You've also never had
But I'm not,
hot sauce, right?
I'm not a connoisseur of... Yeah, you and I were going to do a whole deal where I tried hot sauces, and we almost had, like, our own little...
Hot
What's
ones.
that show on YouTube when he asks celebrities questions and they try these wings with different sauces?
Yeah, the hot ones.
Hot ones.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We should still do that.
Yeah, we should do that.
You know? Yeah, I think we definitely should still do that. I'll leave the bomb.
Sign me up to just shit fire for 24 hours.
How do you do with spicy stuff?
I don't really know.
Oh, okay. I think you'll be all right. You don't have any...
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah. You're not going to... You'll be fine. You got this. You'll be all right. I love that idea. We should definitely do that.
Okay.
And tell me about, you said something about breakfast. What did you do for breakfast?
Yeah. We went to breakfast this morning and I was like looking through the menu and I've been trying to, make wise choices and shit.
Sure.
But when you slap a Irish poach in front of me, that's very similar to a trick worm for me. Like I love talk dirty to me trick worm. Same with Irish eggs Benny. But dude came out. The English muffin was like perfect, and the corned beef hash was in like a square pressed shape.
Oh yeah.
And then the poached egg was like the most beautiful freaking poached egg I've ever seen in my life. And they had this thing called Johnny Boy sauce. It wasn't hollandaise, but it was this like cheese salsa spicy kind of sauce. I was like, you know what, why don't we put that on the side just in case? Okay.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. And so I was like, I was looking at the dish. I'm like, let me try it. So I dipped into it once. Oh, when I put my fork into that poached egg, I literally had a fucking orgasm in the middle of the restaurant. And my mom was like, what is it? What is it? I'm like, look at that fucking poach. Look at that. Like, it was just so beautiful.
I love it.
But I hadn't had that in so long that when I had it today, I mean, it could have been fried pigeon shit. I probably would have thought it tasted great. But this was really good.
It's funny. I'm not one of those that's going to go to a Benny right away. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go to a Benedict necessarily. But there was a time recently, who was I with? Was I fishing with Paul? I think I was fishing with Paul. And we were having a shit day of it. And I said, dude, let's go get breakfast. So we left and we went over to Mrs. Mitchell's. And one of the specials was a crab cake Benny.
Oh, God.
It had like an Old Bay hollandaise. Oh, my God. It was out of this world. I made an amazing breakfast today. In fact, I think I've told you about this breakfast before. My favorite breakfast item that I make myself, peppers and eggs. I love peppers and eggs. But another like staple that I am a sucker for is just really good home fries. I love them. Yes. Man, I love them with like some Cajun seasoning. So what I've been doing is I've been doing like a loaded home fry where I'll take a plate and I put a layer of home fries. And then I'll layer some peppers and eggs. And then I'll put another layer of home fries and then layer some on top. Like it's a little tiny little casserole in a bowl. And it is so good. It's awesome.
What are your thoughts on maple syrup on home fries? Have you done it?
Keep in mind, I eat pepperoni. I eat pineapple on pizza. Like I'm down with sweet on specific stuff. Yeah, I like to get a little bit freaky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too.
You know?
The maple syrup on like home fries with a little ketchup mix. Like,
now you're a little further up north in New England than I am. I'm going to assume for you it's 100% natural Vermont maple syrup, like $56 a gallon by the gallon.
Is there any other kind?
Yeah.
Or
remember I told you my wife is from Athol, Orange area. That they call it Tool Town. She didn't have real maple syrup until we were together. Syrup. It wasn't even that. It was like maple extract and water. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah. That face right there is how I felt for a long time. And then, I love maple syrup. Maple scissor. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I've had an IHOP moment where you get the syrup that you get, doesn't matter what it is. And you're fucking hungover as shit.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
Sausage gravy on fries, bring it. I love it.
Oh God.
I love it.
Now we're getting into like the Putzin kind of deal where you're.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love how that's finally taken off, like in America.
Yeah.
Like normalizing like cheese curds and gravy on fries and just like
fries. Heart Attack City.
God.
Yeah.
Like
Nova Scotia's probably losing their fucking minds.
Oh yeah. I believe it. Tragic that Mr. Roast Beef missed out for so many years. Yeah.
Oh, on what?
On the maple syrup? No, that was my wife. I brought her to the light. Yeah. Not on maple syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking wild. I do want to mention I told Wild Bill, or I'm sorry, Bill the Fisherman. Excuse me. Who the fuck is Wild Bill fishing?
Right.
I did tell Bill the Fisherman that I was going to make sure that everybody knew that, yes, there is a brand new Hookset Hoodlums hat available. Sexy AF. It's another patch hat. This one is awesome. It's got a big fish silhouette on it. It's got a nice script logo on there. Really, really nice. They got a performance t-shirt, and they also have their light spring hoodie that's available. Very similar graphics on both of them. Like really, really cool updated Hookset Hoodlums logo. Go check it out, hooksethoodlums.com, and get yourself some good gear. I'm going to throw this out there because this week I had a conversation with a content creator who is an artist. They make cartoon-style illustrations and stuff based in, I believe, Texas. And they had sent a message saying, hey, are you interested in updating your logo and, such and such? And I'm like, this logo, the Jigs and Bigs logo, is here to stay. Like, this is not changing. Like, I am treating this logo as if we are the Grateful Dead or the Rolling Stones. Like, this is something you're going to see for the long haul. It may be incorporated in other designs for stuff. And I said, well, what about, I asked specifically, I was like, what about t-shirt designs? What about this? What about that? What do you think about this? And this idea came around for maybe taking some elements of the show and having a little bit of fun with it. Like, I've been doing really basic t-shirt designs, riffed on certain stuff, like the Bernie's throwback shirt, like that. That's just my take on something else. Very, very simple.
But your catchphrases,
yeah,
market those hoes. Come on, let's retire.
Exactly. The catchphrases, the characters, like, there's people that are on the show and or that, even that you hear these voices, and we kind of want to go and have a little bit of fun with it. And I was thinking about the idea of like a Bobby Roast Beef and Sean the Fisherman, like cartoon style, like reinterpretation.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, it could be kind of fun. And
the whole caricature kind of, I can't even say the word.
Yeah.
Big.
Oh, caricature? I don't know if I've shown this to you.
You showed it
to
me.
That's right.
Yes.
This was from one of my trivia nights. Now, I don't think this actually looks like my resemblance at all, but it fits so well. And the fact that it says, Fart Society. Fart Society is the name of that dude's team. So good.
It's so good. I love that drawing.
In fact, I think their buzzer sound that night for trivia I think. Yeah, it's this. This was their buzzer that night.
I require lasagna.
I love it because I do require lasagna at all times.
I love a good lasagna.
It's good stuff. So I think that about does it. I think we covered all the stuff that we want to cover. Is there anything you want to jump in and mention before we go? If you want, Ellie, do you have anything you want to plug?
I mean, not verbally, but.
A fucking national treasure. I've said it before. I will continue to say it all the time. A fucking national treasure. If you ever go missing, and Indiana Jones is going to be looking for you.
Oh, I love Indy.
Who doesn't?
Dr. John. Love Indiana.
Oh.
No, dude. Just Ellie Noelle. Find me on socials if you're brave enough.
Go ahead and you got to find her TikToks. They're out of this world. I can't recommend them enough. I actually, before we go, I'm going to share this with you. So on Father's Day, my dad, and you might get a kick out of this because you're like me. You like old shit. You like vintage stuff.
Yeah, I do.
My dad, my folks had downsized. They had moved into my sister's house. They're building a nice in-law space for them. Like, it's a great, great spot that they're moving into, and they're happy. They got to downsize a bit and get rid of some of the stuff that they don't necessarily need a whole lot. And my dad goes, I got a couple of lures that I want you to take because you'll, appreciate them more than I will. Like, whether you're hanging on to them or something. For the jig heads that are in here too.
Is that wood?
It is wood.
Oh, look at that fucker.
Look at that. Look at the bill on it. Look at the bill on this thing.
I have a collection of stuff like that.
So
yeah, I appreciate that.
My dad says this is dated probably about 80 years old or so.
Dude.
Absolutely wild.
Look at that.
And then this is the best part. This is like the best. Like, this is amazing, and I'm gonna do something very creative and interesting with this at some point. I kind of want to hold on to this stuff for the day is eventually going to come where there's going to be a Jigs and Bigs, like a proper set where we're going to be able to do, like, this is going to grow to a point, and I want to have items like that be on the set, either on a bookshelf or something like that on display.
Absolutely.
This I'm going to fish with. And this one is it's from Hedden, and it is I believe it's called a crazy crawler. And this is the artificial lure.
Oh my God.
Actual.
You're going to fish with that?
Yep, I'm going to fish with it.
Oh my God.
That
makes me nervous.
Well, it's a topwater. I'm not going to lose it. It'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah, I've lost some topwaters in my day.
It'll be all right. I'm only going to fish it from the kayak. I lose far fewer baits in the kayak. And I've never lost a topwater on the kayak. But I'm going to fish with this one because
that thing.
This was, when I was a kid, I was crazy into like old horror movies and stuff. And I loved anything bats, spiders, anything creepy like that. This was in my dad's tackle box when we used to go trout fishing. And all I wanted to do was fish with this thing. Like, I thought this was the coolest piece of equipment. So I am 100%. I'm gonna give it a go. We'll see how it goes. I might even throw it in Crumpton. I
love that. Look at that.
City of Crumpton.
I can't get over that wood one that I love.
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit.
It's beautiful.
That's like,
that is wild.
That's like shadow box frame. Like,
yeah.
Fucking, that's nice.
You got to do something that's really creative and looks really good,
Yeah.
And definitely gonna put that out as a display piece, but awesome. This show was really great, Ellie. Thanks so much for being a part of it.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Very, very, very cool to have you on. I'd love to have you and that strange fellow Bill the Fisherman join anytime. I think it was absolutely awesome. So
worked out. Love
absolutely. No, it's great. It's great. So with all that said, guys, have yourselves an amazing week. Remember, next week's show is going to be nuts. Like, that's not an exaggeration. It is going to be absolutely wild. We're recording live on location. We will be with Delirious Angler. Sean and myself are going to meet up again, and then we're going to see... This is going to be pretty good because we've also got we're going to be at Cody's house, Lockwood Fishing. Go follow all these guys and get out there and catch some fish. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I'm really psyched to get out. There's going to be all kinds of content coming, like fishing content for sure, the podcast, but also like some truck camping stuff, some catch and cook stuff. It's going to be really, really good. Brian jumps in and he says, "I'm fearful this is foreshadowing to Bobby telling us he lost it and then backlashed in the line snap." I'm telling you, there's no way. I say that. I know there's, yeah, it will be coming back for sure. And then Fishing in the Sticks is delighted for next week's show as well. With all that being said, guys, get out there and catch some fish. We are, we're in the post spawn out here, and the fish are all over the place. Like, go and get it done. Go and catch them. We will see you next time we do. And if you see that mad shitter running around somewhere in Western New York, make sure and bitch slap them, because that's just messed up. We don't need any of that stuff. Until next time, as we always say each and every week here at Jigs and Biggs,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
When I start making love, I don't just make love, I be stroking. That's what I be doing. I be stroking. I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west. I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking. Let me ask you something. What time of the day do you like to make love? Have you ever made love just before breakfast? Have you ever made love while you watch the Late Late Show? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever made love on a couch? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever made love on the back seat of a car? I remember one time I made love on the back seat of a car, and the police came and shined his light on me, and I said, I'm stroking. That's what I'm doing. I be stroking. I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west, and I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking. Let me ask you something. How long has it been since you made love? Huh? Did you make love yesterday? Did you make love last week? Did you make love last year? Or maybe it might be that you're planning on making love tonight. But just remember, when you start making love, you make it hard, long, soft, short, and be stroking. I be stroking. I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west, and I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking. Now when I start making love to my woman, I don't stop until I know she's sassified. And I can always tell when she gets sassified, because when she gets sassified, she started calling my name. She said, Clarence Carter, Clarence Carter, Clarence Carter, Clarence Carter. Ooh, shit, Clarence Carter. The other night, I was stroking my woman, And it got so good to her. You know what she told me? Let me tell you what she told me. She said, stroke it, Clarence Carter, but don't stroke so fast. If my stuff ain't tight enough, you can stick it up my... I be stroking. I be stroking. I stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the west. I stroke it to the woman that I love the best. I be stroking. I be stroking. I be stroking. Yeah. I be stroking. I stroke it to the north. I stroke it to the south. I stroke it everywhere. I even stroke it with my. I be stroking.